we're very excited to go to the Little Rock. I think it's what makes Arkansas that we've taken the team to Little Rock for so many years. It started in 1948 when we played over at War Memorial, and done it every year since, besides last year in the COVID. And decided to play an in-state team in Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we haven't played an in-state team here in football since 1944. So it's going to be a really enjoyable weekend, and looking forward to getting to Little Rock.
First up, we have Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam, I'm wondering, from a schematic standpoint, what is it that has allowed your running game to be as successful as it has, schematic and personnel? What has allowed your running game to prosper?
I think a lot of it has to do with KJ Jefferson, with the ability to run the ball. My dad was an old coach, and it was his big deal is, where's the football? If they don't know where the football is, you have a lot better chance of having success running it. And we've got a lot of that concept in our game. Where is it? The quarterback keep it? Are we going to throw it? Are we going to hand it off? And I think we put backside linebackers in a little bit of turmoil with the way we run our offense. So I think that has a lot to do with it, KJ being a runner. And I think we're just a better offensive line than we were last year. And we have, certainly three runners that we really didn't have last year. And I'm counting Dominique in that because he didn't play much, that are helping us as well.
I got you. And hey, on Monday, you said you'd want to get guys back for this game, not for Mississippi State coming up. Is anybody qualified into that for you this week?
Well, Tom, not really. We're still looking at Trey Knox to see if he'll, if he's going to, that ankle's going to be healed up enough. Don't believe we're going to be able to get Utsey back, and don't believe certainly Wagner. He won't be back in time for that. But other than that, I think we're pretty healthy.
Okay, and I'm sorry, real quick, will Utsey be able to travel those back home?
We don't travel guys that aren't healthy enough to play, so that answer would be no.
Okay, thanks.
Next is Andrew Hutchison of Hogbeat.
Hey, Coach. I noticed Aaron Outley at practice yesterday. Whether or not he helps y'all this year or not, how good is it to get him back out on the field just from a developmental standpoint?
Well, he's strong. And, we were talking about that in our staff meeting today about all these kids that are not playing, but how exciting it is to have them either back healthy or even watching them on the scout team, and how much we think they can develop the rest of this season and in the spring. So I think we've got some guys that you've heard of, but you haven't heard of them really on Saturday playing, that are going to play and play well for us. And I think Aaron's going to be one of those guys. He's lost his weight, lost not all of it, but he's lost a lot of the weight he needed to lose. And he looked, it was the first day, but he looked good yesterday.
And then I know last week you said he was close, but Trent Gordon, do you think he might be able to help y'all some this week?
I hope so. He's practiced this week. I think that ankle's finally feeling better for him, and I certainly hope so, because we recruited him for a reason, and we need him healthy, and I think he'll help us once his health allows him to.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Next we'll go to Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
How you doing today?
Good, Bob.
Several FCS teams have beaten FBS teams this season, including 3 Power 5s. And everybody's probably seen the film of that play when Jacksonville State won at Florida State, and some other games. But do you guys, as a coaching staff, do y'all talk to the players about those games specifically, or do you show them film clips, or talk to them about, hey, man, these FBS teams, they didn't think they were going to lose, and they did? How do you handle that?
We haven't, Bob. There's different situations where I might and I might not. We're just worried about our own team this week and getting back on track, and a lot of positive energy at practice this week, and try to get poised to make a run, and certainly can't make a run if you don't win the first one. And so we haven't talked a lot about, well, honestly, we haven't talked any about, teams getting beat by 1AA teams. And so, no, to answer your question, we haven't really addressed that.
And I know you said you wanted to have some lighter practices this week to take some off the guys physically. How do you feel like that's gone?
The only thing really that we've changed this week is our good on good, and we did not do as many reps good on good as what we had the first fall camp and the first 7 weeks. Again today, we're cutting those good on good reps as well. Not all of them, but when we do good on good today, we're going to go ones versus twos versus ones, which we've been doing on Wednesdays anyway, but we're going to cut those reps as well. And I thought practice went good yesterday.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Next is Steve Moulton at WGGN.
Coach, hope you're doing well today.
Thanks, Steve.
This is an 8 game in a row to kind of start the season and the grind week in and week out. I just knowing what you have schedule wise heading into the year and then just kind of experiencing it week in and week out. What have you liked most about your team kind of grinding through this 2-month span, Coach?
Well, we're resilient. We have a tough physical football team. I think if you came into our team meetings and our practices, there's still a lot to play for and a lot of belief in our team and on our team. And I just like to fight. We're 4-3 right now. We're certainly disappointed in the last 3 games and things, but we fought, and we just have to play a little bit better. And we know that we played some really good teams in that 7-game stretch, and I'm proud of them. And they're resilient and they're tough, and that's what we found out about them. We knew that, but they've shown that as well.
You mentioned it in your opening statement, Coach, about playing an in-state school. How important is that to you to play teams inside the state of Arkansas?
I think even if you're a fan for Pine Bluff, we don't play that often. I think it helps our fan base as well. When we can somewhat unite the whole state into the Arkansas Razorbacks when we're not playing another in-state, it shows that we're willing to do it. Certainly hadn't done it since 1944. If you're going to give money to schools to play you, keeping it in-state is probably a pretty good idea to help in-state programs as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty good deal. Obviously, there's always that risk of getting beat by somebody in your state, and that's probably the main reason why we haven't done it in so long. But I'm all for it, and looking forward to seeing Doc Gamble and his fine football team on Saturday.